Harry's wife. He's just pretending to be happy. Clive Hammond writes in the Express, Prince Harry likened to an actor, as experts say he's just pretending to be happy in the United States. Prince Harry is like an actor who is just pretending to be happy, while, in the United States, a close friend of his stepmother, Queen Camilla, has sensationally claimed. Harry and his wife, Harry's wife, have endured a torrid few months, with the couple's lucrative Spotify deal ripped up after just one season. This has been coupled with the fallout from Harry's autobiography Spare, which, while one of history's fastest-selling non-fiction books, caused fury inside Buckingham Palace and saw their popularity ratings nosedive. And the miserable spell Harry and Harry's wife are currently experiencing has made the former look like a fish out of water, as he attempts to crack the United States, an expert has claimed. Petronella Wyatt, a friend of Camilla, said that publicly, despite the difficulties, Harry was pretending to be a happy person. She told GB News host Mark Dolan he's trying so hard to look happy, but he's a bit like an actor on a stage pretending to be a happy person. The journalist added, if you've been in that royal hot house for 30-odd years, to think you can then go to Hollywood and make it there, where they really don't give a damn about titles. The author's intervention came as Harry opted to snub the special ceremony in Scotland, which saw his father and monarch, King Charles III, officially crowned king north of the border. Ms. Wyatt said it was as if Harry had burnt all his bridges through his decision, opting instead to remain in the United States with his young family to celebrate the 4th of July. She added, he's got an American wife, children who are American citizens, and who will be brought up as Americans. He's had no success as an Englishman, so he's having a go as an American. Harry and Harry's wife opted to quit their roles within the upper echelons of Buckingham Palace in order to live a private life in the United States. Harry has returned back to the United Kingdom on a number of occasions, including for the coronation in May, which saw the nation, Commonwealth and beyond bask in a glittering ceremony that announced Charles as king. It comes as plans to move Prince Andrew into Harry and Harry's wife's former UK base at Frogmore Cottage were quietly shelved, an insider said. Thus, Petronella Wyatt, friend of Queen Camilla, suggests that Harry is just playing at being happy, that he's pretending. Could this be accurate? Well, first of all, Harry has only ever known the royal family. Within it, he was content enough. Why? He didn't have to think. He was told where to go, what to wear, what he had to say. He was shuttled around, cosseted, looked after, which meant that some of the more narcissistic elements of his behaviour, when they came out as a consequence of the diminution of his emotional empathy, could be managed and shielded. But he was largely happy. You could see that he enjoyed himself when he went out, that he enjoyed the sports that he got involved in. We know by his own admission he enjoyed the work that he undertook in Africa. You only have to look at the pictures that were taken with him, his brother and his sister-in-law to see the beaming smiles on his face, the head thrown back in laughter, the genuine affection between the three of them. And then all of that changed. Somebody came into his life. At first, he believed this person made him even happier. And she did in a sense, because she flattered him, gave him lots of sex, lots of spicy poontang, told him he was amazing and wonderful. And given the fact that Harry does have a strong envious, jealous, narcissistic trait, the fact that he was placed in the limelight for once compared to other members of his family did make him feel special. Over time, as a consequence of not being particularly bright and his own emotional thinking, coupled with the manipulations, she was able to cause him to rewrite his own history by making him believe that actually he wasn't happy in the royal family, that he'd been mistreated, that he'd not been supported as a consequence of the loss of his mother, indeed that he'd been actively briefed against. And the happiness which was there for all to see, she told him, wasn't genuine, that it wasn't real, that it was manufactured. And he believed it. She then dangled happiness in front of him, suggesting that happiness came bathed in golden Californian sunshine, the freedom to do what they wanted. Of course you can maintain all of your connections with your old life, Harry, but the United States is where we need to be. Cheesed off and believing what she had to say, and of course in love with her, he believed her that the promise of paradise was across the Atlantic Ocean. And there he went. And there, isolated from his support networks, completely in her grip, the mask is then ripped off. And no amount of copious Californian sunshine and healthy living can mask the fact that he's lost his friends, that he's lost his family, that he doesn't have that way of life that he was so accustomed to in the United Kingdom. For anyone having lived 30 plus years in a particular country, it would still amount to quite a shock to go elsewhere, even though there are similarities of language and outlook between the United Kingdom and the United States. But the fact is, he's an ocean away from friends and family, that things are done differently, and that whilst, of course, he would derive what he believed to be happiness from being with the narcissist, he becomes all the more reliant upon her. Where are the real friend networks that Harry's forged in the United States? He doesn't have them. The few friends that the Sussexes have come from her side of the fence. He doesn't even have her extended family to go to other than Doria, and Doria is a lieutenant of his wife, keeping him in check. We have seen, of course, the repeated photographs of Harry scowling, frowning, looking upset, anxious, irritated, annoyed. Of course, he's told that this is as a consequence of the behaviour of other people and nothing to do with their life, that they are eminently and radiantly happy. But the fact is, he isn't, because nobody is happy when they live with a narcissist. Nobody is happy with a narcissist because they're devalued. They're subjected to all of the malign manipulations, and they've been taken away from a world that they thoroughly enjoyed and placed in one which is not only unfamiliar to them, but is populated by somebody, when you're in the sustained devaluation, that is going to make your life a repeated misery. It isn't to do with him thinking that he could crack Hollywood. He was never really interested in that. Instead, he believed her lies, that there would be a better life waiting for them in the United States, where they could be a family, because that's all he's ever wanted, to be a father, to have a family. And once he thought he'd achieved it, the reality, because he's with a narcissist, is vastly different. And instead, he's left trying to put a brave face on it all. Because of his narcissistic trait of pride, he doesn't want to admit that he's failed, that he's been duped, that he's been had. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.